Qantas Frequent Flyer program or the Velocity Frequent Flyer program, which one is better in August 2025? In today's video, I'm going to go in depth, talk about the pros and cons so we can figure out which type of points we should be earning. I've been earning frequent flyer points now for the past 10 years, and in that time I've earned Velocity points, Amex points, and Qantas points, so I am across it all. I'm going to share some of my experiences as to what I like about the Qantas and the Velocity frequent flyer programs, as well as what I don't like. So with that in mind, let's get straight into the first topic. The first thing I want to talk about is the redemption values. The Qantas Frequent Flyer program have just gone through their first devaluation since 2019, and it has taken an absolute hit to the value of your Qantas points. To give you an example, I thought we would discuss some of the routes and how they compare from Velocity points to Qantas points. To begin, one of my favorite redemptions, because of the redemption value that you get, I'm going to discuss Sydney to Los Angeles. On this route, typically you're going to get about 10 cents worth of value for every point that you redeem. Qantas have just devalued their points though, meaning that redemption value is not as good now. In the past, Qantas charged 108,000 Qantas points to get from Sydney to Los Angeles in business class. As of today, the new rate is 130,100 Qantas points. To put that into perspective, Velocity are charging 102,000 Velocity points to book a Sydney to Los Angeles flight. Now, Velocity has also gone through a devaluation in the past year, but their devaluation is already in effect, and 102,000 Velocity points is where they're at now. This means that there's almost a 30,000 point difference from Qantas compared to Velocity. In my personal opinion, I actually rate the United business class product, which you can book with Velocity points, over the Qantas business class product, and it's also cheaper now as well. Now, all this sounds great for Velocity so far, but there is something that I haven't discussed yet that will also be a huge factor. But before I share that, I do want to touch on some other routes as well, just to give you an idea of the redemption values from Qantas to Velocity, just to make sure that we are not isolating it particularly for this one route. The next route I'm going to discuss is going to be Singapore. For this example, I'm going to be talking about Melbourne to Singapore. Using Velocity points, it'll set you back 74,000 Velocity points on a Singapore Airlines flight. Using Qantas points, that was 75,000 Qantas points as of yesterday, but it is now being increased to 90,000 Qantas points. 90,000 Qantas points will get you a business class seat on Qantas or a British Airways flight. All of these carriers, whether booking with Qantas or Velocity points, are great options getting to Singapore. The difference is the price you pay. The final route that I wanted to share with you is going to be Sydney to Tokyo. Using Velocity points, it will set you back 82,000 Velocity points. Previously, that was the same with 82,000 Qantas points. You could also get to Tokyo, but they have just increased the amount of points required for you to travel on that flight. Qantas actually have two options getting to Tokyo. 98,400 Qantas points will get you a Qantas flight, where 108,000 Qantas points is going to get you on a Japan Airlines flight from Sydney to Tokyo in business class. You can see here, just from the redemption values alone, Qantas are far more expensive now compared to Velocity. The next factor I want to talk about when we're figuring out which airline loyalty program is the best is going to be the amount of routes available. What I mean by routes available is how many different destinations can I fly to using the points that I have in their loyalty program. This is a very big factor because I want to know that if I'm earning points with this airline, I can use them to go places that I actually want to go. One of the limiting factors I've noticed is that getting a business class reward seat on Velocity somewhere overseas is actually fairly limiting. They've only really got a handful of destinations that you can get a lie-flat business class seat using Velocity points. These would be Singapore, Doha, Tokyo, USA, Canada. That's 5. I'm struggling to find more. I know there's like Fiji and Bali, but I don't think they are in lie-flat business class seats. To be honest, there really aren't too many lie-flat business class seats you can book using Velocity points. Now, because of this, it is very tricky getting to different parts of the world. In particular, getting to China with Velocity points I've found is a struggle. But on a good note, the routes that they do fly, there are often a ton of business class seats available. For example, if I wanted to fly to Doha, I have pages and pages of reward availability in business class that I can select from. Again, if I wanted to get to Singapore, I've got pages and pages of reward availability that I can select from. The USA did have a ton of reward seat availability, but that has dried up as of recently. I'm sure they will bring some reward availability back for that route. It's just at the moment it has definitely trickled away. So to summarize that, for Velocity, pretty much they only fly to a handful of destinations with lie-flat business class seats available, but those destinations that they do fly to, there are often a lot of reward seats available. To put this into comparison with Qantas, they fly to a lot of places in the world. It is very easy to use Qantas points to go all over the world. The only limiting factor is often they don't have reward seats available. In terms of the amount of different destinations you can fly to, Qantas Points is the clear winner. You can get pretty much anywhere in the world: South America, Canada, Dubai, you can get to Japan, you can get to China, you can get to Europe. Everywhere you want to go, you can get there with Qantas Points. The only limiting factor is that the amount of reward seats for each particular destination is not great. You will have a hard time finding reward seats for specific destinations that you do want to go to, particularly in lie-flat business class seats. Now, often they are out there if you do know how to search the Qantas website like a sniper, but it is definitely a lot more difficult using your Qantas points to book business class classic reward seats. I think this is a few factors. Number one is that there are so many members all chasing the same business class reward seats. And also number two is that they have so many different destinations. If they have a certain allowance for business class reward seats every single year, it has to get spread across all of these different routes. Now, if you do need help using your points, check the link in the video description. In there, you'll find my Patreon link. I help my members use their frequent flyer points and find the best business class reward seats on the Qantas and Velocity website. Check it out in the link in the video description. In terms of earning frequent flyer points, both Qantas and Velocity are fairly easy to earn points with. They both have great credit card options. They both have options to earn points at grocery stores, and they both have lots of different unique little promos that will allow you to earn 1,000 or 2,000 points through various different signups here and there. I would call it a tie in terms of earning points. So what am I personally doing? I see pros and cons with both the Qantas Frequent Flyer program and also the Velocity Frequent Flyer program. I see the best value for your points with the Velocity Frequent Flyer program, but I see the use of being able to actually use your points to get anywhere in the world, particularly in business class, is much better with Qantas points. I know that if I want to fly to Dubai or if I want to fly to China or South America, I can do that with Qantas points. I will have a very difficult time doing that with Velocity points. Saying that, if I want to use my Qantas points to go to Doha or if I want to go to Singapore, I'll probably have a more difficult time just because the amount of reward seats they release is not as many compared to Velocity's frequent flyer program. But the trade-off is you get access to more different destinations and you just have to be a bit more lenient with the dates that you book those flights. Personally, for me, I earn Amex Platinum membership points. This gives me the ability to transfer to Qantas or to Velocity frequent flyer programs, depending on which airline have the reward seat availability. I won't convert my points into Qantas or Velocity points until absolutely necessary and just before I'm about to book the flight. In my personal opinion, in 2025, you need to be earning points that are not exclusively Qantas or Velocity. You need to have both options because of the issues that I've talked about today with reward seat finding. In my opinion, in 2025, you need to be earning membership points that you can transfer to both Qantas and Velocity because of those issues that I've discussed today. If you can start earning membership points, you can transfer to Velocity and Qantas, depending on which airline have the reward seats available at the time that you want them, you're going to greatly increase your chances at getting the flights that you actually want. Now, if you do want to learn exactly how I set up my structures for earning points or how I consistently earn points year in, year out, and then find the best business class reward seats, check out the link in the video description. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.